Hello everyone, thanks very much for all the support with my videos, and I'm also very grateful for everybody who kindly donates to my campaign to get elected as an independent TD for Dublin Bay South on my GoFundMe, and a link to the GoFundMe will be in the comments at the end of this video. Today I'm on Grove Park in Rathmines, and I want to speak about the housing disaster in the context of what's happening on the ground with sky high rents. Now, a lot of people will be very familiar with Grove Park and Rathmines, just off Rathmines Road, and as you head that way back towards the canal and up towards Rathmines in that direction. It's very important. Over the last long number of years, a lot of people have lived here, and people, if you have any memories of living here, please share them in the videos as well, in the comments, because today a DAF report was issued to say rents are 47% above pre-COVID levels. Absolutely extortionate, forcing more people away from their communities because of unaffordability, all facilitated by government policies and exacerbated because of the extra pressure on supply that's there from the immigration chaos created also as well, which benefits of course the big employers, which I've spoken about many times, and of course the commercial property owners and the big landlords who will profit from it. Today a report was issued to say that the average rent across Ireland is €1,955. That would be about 90% of the minimum wage. When you consider small businesses in the area are struggling to get workers, this is a huge facet of this crisis. But if people know part of Grove Park and Rathmines, I've been supporting tenants for many years now in this area, and I'll speak a little bit about this as I walk along and show you about how the area has been changing, because this area was full for many years of people from all kinds of backgrounds. There was musicians, there was artists, there was actors, there was many people, families, people that students, families that came up from people that came up from the country as well. In my student years myself, a lot of my friends lived on here as well in this area, and it was a great vibrant community where everybody could live, everybody mixed together, and Rathmines was a hugely vibrant, great place for everybody of all income levels to mix and all backgrounds, which was fantastic to see. But it's been gentrified because of government policies, and more people are being forced out because of legislation that facilitates big investor landlords to profit from. And now today it's very hard to know so many people in this community because there's been huge change over the last number of years. As I said, rents have been extortionate, and even in Dublin rents are over 2,560 per month is the average rents. Absolutely extortionate. No wonder people are leaving the country, and people don't see any hope of having a future in Ireland, much the same as here in Rathmines. Now I'll just walk up along here and show you a little bit about what's happening. One of the houses here as well, and many of them have been, many long-standing tenants were evicted from in the last few years. Here we can see international investors have come in, claimed substantial refurbishments, and evicted the tenants. Now these are pre-63 houses, and people would notice this is around the area. A lot of these estate agents have been going around actively pursuing these houses to try and make huge profits and bring in international investors and private equity funds to profit from the misery of ordinary people. Now back between 2004 and 2014, rents would be €400 to €500 per month for a one bed or a studio apartment or a bedsit that were prevalent in this area as well. But since the opening up of the doors to vulture funds, a lot of tenants here were evicted based on the substantial refurbishments. It was pre-63, which meant that they don't need planning permission for any refurbishments to take place. And as you can see here again, more tenants that have been evicted. A lot of these properties have been sold upwards of €1 million and would comprise of about 8 or 9 apartments and flats. But so it's huge dramatic shifts in Irish society, all facilitated by government policy. So when they're going to be talking about their policies over the next period of time, this is absolute nonsense, because they have created the misery that's forcing more and more people into homelessness. Here's one of the pre-63 homes for sale that's just been sold. Again, which is all facilitated by government policies. And so many people in this community, and there's a lot of tenants that I've supported for many years, as I said, in this area, against their evictions, against poor living standards for years as well. Many of these apartments were in deplorable states. And again, there was no enforcement carried out by Dublin City Council because essentially there's toothless institutions that don't even enforce habitable living standards for a lot of tenants also. And here we can see as well work taking place in another house up here. But really from the about 2016, 17, 18, huge amounts of construction work took place on this street. There was hoarding nearly every second or third house. There was scaffolding up, and vultures moved in on an industrial scale around here to force people away. As you can see, those bins outside, sort of bunkers where they put the bins, would be a telltale sign of what has been recently changed in terms of vulture funds coming in and charging upwards of nearly 1,800 euro per month for tiny studio apartments. And this is all manufactured, facilitated by deliberate government policy. So when they're going around waxing lyrical about their plans and delivery and we're going to fix the housing crisis, it's really just laughable. But on the serious end, it shows you that they only facilitate the super rich and wealthy, which is the same as developments here. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was supporting tenants regarding here as well. And that apartment has been bought by institutional, international investors. And of course, we've had Airbnb causing huge problems in and around Grove Park as well. Short-term lets. Like there was one that was owned by a group called The Collection. That was here also. So I've been calling for a long period of time on a ban on entire homes and apartments being let out on Airbnb, which has taken the heart and soul out of this wonderful community. And here we go again. Another property for sale, O'Connor Shannon. And we'll just walk a little bit further up and I'll explain a few more things. So again, thanks very much for all the support in my videos. I'm really grateful. Thanks to everybody who keeps subscribing to my YouTube channel, and also everybody who kindly supports my campaign to get elected. Please share the video around Rathmines and around the wider area, because up to 50% of people in Dublin Bay South rent, and renters are forgotten by government policies. They're second-class citizens in Ireland. They need long-term security of tenure. You need rents linked to income where it's affordable for people to live, and you need to have a dignified existence and be respected. But this isn't happening by government policies. And a vote for Peter Dooley in this upcoming election would be a vote to put the needs of people first in terms of rights of renters who are struggling every single day to pay their rents, and many at the moment on this street that I'm supporting against their evictions. As we just walk down a little bit more, one of the houses there, actually back during a snowstorm in 2017, a landlord tried to come in and evict the tenants, and thankfully, due to response of a few neighbours and myself, we prevented that eviction, which was shows you the power of community support in our areas. As we just take a stroll further up, and apartments here as well, well over €2,000. Studio apartment down there for well over €2,200 per month in Grove Park. Absolutely insane. There's any wonder more people are being driven into poverty, homelessness, and all the other issues that come with the lack of having a secure home. And as I said at the start of this video, so many people of all income levels lived in Grove Park. Another apartment that was here as well, houses, tenants evicted, and it sold for upwards of €1 million. So that's just a short walk through as we come around by the Grand Canal here, through Grove Park. There's a lot of stories in each of these homes, people's lives that have been affected by the horrors of homelessness. The house behind me, 6 years ago, people were evicted from there, and one woman I know that is still in homeless accommodation because they were forced out by bully boy vulture landlords and all their agents, forcing them out in the street, all facilitated by government policy. So don't vote for any of the parties who are interested in facilitating this to continue. Vote for somebody who's on the ground, who's worked for years around these issues, supporting people through Dublin Renters Union, supporting many people at risk of eviction, people who are struggling to get by day to day, and many who aren't treated with respect. As I said, renters are second-class citizens. So if you want a real voice for renters in the Dáil, vote Peter Dooley number 1 for Dublin Bay South. But also, as I said, this was a place that people of all incomes lived in. People from all walks of life, musicians, artists, across the spectrum of society, and it was a vibrant, great place to live. And there's a couple of people still now who have that whole sense of community here that I know very well, and trying to revive it. It's important that people stand up for our communities. Without our communities, what do we have? We have very little to go on. It's more of an insular, isolated world, and that's what society do want to drive us towards, rather than people coming together and standing up against what's going on in Dublin Bay South. So thanks for the support of my videos, and please press subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye bye. Slán.